Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups. I run it from Silicon Valley. We are, as a team, we are all over the world. Entrepreneurs are all over the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. And in the current situation of this enormous AI layoffs, this is becoming a very important way that people who are facing layoffs or facing threats of layoffs can create what we call a lifeboat strategy. We recommend that you start something as a bootstrapping with a paycheck situation so that you can build a business that can, that can give you a good off-ramp in case you get hit by a layoff in your employer's situation. So that's, that's just a philosophy that we've always had. We've always supported bootstrapping with a paycheck. Today, it has just become so essential and so crucial to where things are going that we are emphasizing that even more. This is the 723rd free mentoring roundtable. We've been doing this for a long time. And we have relatively recently, last fall, launched the AI mentor, the 1M1M AI mentor, which is essentially Sramana Mitra's digital mind. It's trained on all my mentoring sessions from years and years ago, 700 plus mentoring sessions, and all my writings and speeches and curriculum, all the 1M1M curriculum and so on. So it's a very effective AI mentor that is trained on our philosophy. Now, the 1M1M philosophy is different from Y Combinator. Y Combinator wants you to go blitzscale immediately. Their philosophy is go big or go home. We don't believe in that at all. Our philosophy is bootstrap first, raise money later, or not at all. If you want to build a small bootstrap business and that becomes your livelihood, that is perfectly fine with us. We do not have any crazy need for you to have to scale at unicorn pace. We don't have to. You can. We have built unicorns in this program, but it is not a requirement that you have to build unicorns, which is the Y Combinator philosophy. So today we're going to, soon start the pitches. Remember, this is a safe working session. You can share what you are struggling with, and I will do my best to give you some feedback. You do what you like with the feedback. It is your prerogative to take it or leave it. My job is to give you authentic feedback. You can do whatever you want with it. So Mohammed Sakib from Hyderabad, India is going to go first. Mohammed Sakib, please unmute your line and tell us what you're working on in CloudZigo.
Thank you so much for doing this. My name is Mohammed Sakib. I'm basically from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. That's my home, and India is where my entire tech team sits. So I'd like to introduce you CloudZigo that we built. Basically, it's a managed cloud hosting platform wherein we have built affordable, secure, scalable, pre-configured cloud hosting and reduce the pricing. Normally, what happens in the entire Middle East and a lot of countries, servers are very expensive for startups and for any SMEs. And there are not many options. There are only a handful of options, which are the hyperscalers, obviously. So we are trying to reduce the cost using CloudZigo and our own facility. Yeah.
So this is going to be for the Middle Eastern market, yes?
Exactly. No, it's actually for the US, Middle East, and India. We have clients in 3 countries, but we started with Middle East.
Okay.
Right. So this is probably the problem we are trying to address. Normally, AWS, GCP, and many hyperscalers are charging for every component, like from CDNs to backups, from panels to everything. There is a cost. And for everything, which I mentioned, stack deployment, SMEs, and developers lose a lot of time on the complex dashboards they have. is some of the very major problem with the AWS. Get the next slide. This is our solution and are also the USB. We have scalable servers with pre-configured CDNs, firewalls, backups with extra cost. And we also have a Super C panel, we call it panel 17, which have all the built-in features what an hyperscaler provides, and that is also free of cost. Wherein normally any panel from anywhere you take, it's costing you not less than $100 a month. So that's something we built it ourselves with our own resources. So that is how we are trying to match the performance. The traction what we already have, we have we are a bootstrap company. We have paying customers now, and this is the customer usage. Like assuming if a customer buys like a 10 GB or 12 GB, they normally they don't use it. Only hardly 30-35% is getting used. So the remaining always sits in the container in the KVM. So we are trying to oversell that and reduce the efforts. That's how we kind of win the situation. We have a proven high margin from 30 to 80% at the moment. As we increase the servers, we can also reduce the cost and our margins can be increased and going further. To the next slide.
Hosting all this?
I'm sorry?
Where are you hosting? Where are the servers?
We have servers in the US, we have in Middle East and India, 3 countries at the moment. This is the market opportunity. As you can see, the cloud hosting market is $1 billion market. Everybody knows that. And cloud is the next oil business. That's what we call, my Saudi friends tell me. So we have targeted segments, like our target segments will be developers. The entire product is made for developer. This is the developers first cloud. And the SMEs need to open source and CRMs, HRMs to avoid SaaS vendor lock. The entire facility is being provided by us for free of cost at not charging any money. Next slide. This is our business model. Basically, our core starting price for a VPS is $8. For a VDS, we are charging even $4 as well. This is a pay-as-you-go solution, scalable servers. We have KVMs, we have containers, and we also have premium services like we have backups, storage facilities, and futurely we will be also providing the GPUs in the same market. Can we just go to the next slide? This is in INR, so the friends won't be able to understand. Again, the next slide, please. This is basically our investment. This is the current valuation. To the next slide, please. Why CloudZigo? This is also a thing. We are bootstrap real paying clients in the India and US. Customers ready revenue unlock immediately with funds. Overselling model, because we have been tried that. We have a proof of concept, we have smart control panel, and we are not using any third parties. Every product is developed by my own company. So this is one of the good advantages that we have by CloudZigo.
So how many customers do you have? What is your revenue level? What are the fundamentals of the business right now?
Currently, we are serving about 25 clients. In that, we have pharmaceutical, oil and gas, few listed companies as well using my servers and storage spaces.
What is the MRR, for instance? Is it do you charge on a recurring revenue basis?
Yeah, yes. We are making about a 10 lakh a year is our annual revenue.
Why are you talking INR? You're not an Indian company. Why are you talking in INR?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking.
Why are you talking in INR?
Okay, I can tell you that. We are probably making like about $3,000 to $4,000 a year.
Okay. And where are your customers from?
Our customers are India's, Saudi, and US.
So this is not ready for funding by any stretch of imagination. Why do you think this is ready for funding?
Because we need to buy some more servers to scale our facilities.
No, I understand you need to buy servers, but this is not something investors would be particularly keen to invest in, right? This is something that competes with, as you mentioned, the companies like Amazon and so forth. So at this point of where the market is, this is not the kind of business that investors are investing in. If you look at the investment landscape at the moment, everything is about AI. So a cloud hosting service is not something people are going to fund.
The AI has to host somewhere, right? Even AI needs servers.
Yeah, but there is plenty of offerings that there are very large companies offering hosting services. So
Not
that's my
everybody.
point.
Like I said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't see cloud hosting being a category in which any investment interest exists currently. So, and if you want investment interest in what you are trying to do, you have to bootstrap it to a level of velocity where it feels like, oh my God, there is this unmet demand. There is tremendous amount of interest, and people are, lining up outside your gates to buy this product. So this is a rocket that maybe warrants investing. Right now, there's a very small amount of interest. There's no proof that there's a high velocity company in the making. So it's going to be very difficult to fund this company.
Okay.
That's my read. I mean, the business is relatively straightforward. So it is also a relatively low barrier to entry business. You have identified it sounds like you've identified a niche. You're trying to undercut the large companies and offer something. But there are lots of issues in hosting services. There's security issues, there's redundancy issues, there's, you have to create fail-safe situations. So if, all that is quite expensive to build, and that kind of trust is very expensive to build. So I just don't see this being a fundable company. But you can build a bootstrap business since you're able to find customers, keep finding customers and keep selling. And if it is profitable, you're saying you have good profit margins, then build up enough profit and keep investing the profit in the business and keep building. There's nothing stopping you from building a small business on this premise, which is validating for you. So we don't, as I said in the outset, there's no problem if it's not a highly scalable, very fast growth company, it is not fundable, but that doesn't mean you can bootstrap a company.
Yeah, that's exactly what we are doing. We are reinvesting your profits, and that's how we are scaling.
So keep doing that.
Yep.
I wouldn't waste time on trying to raise money for this. This is not a fundable situation.
Okay, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. All right, Fara Popoola, you are up next.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you. My camera is a little glitchy, so I could turn it off if it bothers you, or should I?
Dialing from Fara?
Nigeria.
Okay. All
All
right.
So small businesses in sub-Saharan Africa make up for 90% of the population of businesses. But most of the solutions out there tend to focus on the larger businesses, and global trade is not an exception. For most of them, right, global trade is existential. A wrong $2,000 shipment could be the end of a
Fara,
business.
just a second. Could you please cut your video? Your video is flickering and it's very distracting. I can't focus on your presentation. Yeah, better. So just use the audio.
Okay, fine. That works for me too. So I was saying that for a small business, global trade or trade of any kind can be existential in the sense that a wrong shipment of just $2,000 could be the end of that business for good, right? But despite them having such a high risk, they're also forced to take the biggest gambles because it's either they cannot afford the solutions out there, or they don't have enough structure to plug into the solutions out there. So what we have done, next slide, please. So the problems that they have, like I said, is that the complexity is too high, or the solutions out there are too structured for them to really plug in, for them to really be able to afford quality assurance, inventory management, trackable logistics, product discovery, and all of these solutions that a standard business would need when trading globally, importing or exporting. And so what we have done for small businesses and micro businesses is to build a platform that allows them, that's built for their context, right? So with one click, next slide, please. One click and onboarding multiple partners across the value chain, simplifying that and stripping it down to the barest, most simple form of it, where they just need something and they click it. We've been able to integrate secure payments, logistics, trackable logistics, supplier feeds, product discovery, and quality assurance, thereby securing global trade for them from one end of the value chain to the very last end of the value chain. So a small business today can go on the platform, click a button and say what they're looking for, what they want to buy, get protection for their payments, protection for the quality, as well as logistics, and then have it delivered to their doorstep. So that's what we have done today. Next slide, please. Currently today, we have over 5,900 users, more than 6,000 today. And we are targeting the immediate Nigerian online, lowest hanging fruits, online small vendors, more than 100,000, starting with Lagos, Nigeria, and then expanding from there.
There are 6,000 small businesses, right?
Yes, today, yes.
Okay.
All right. So for traction, we have been able to, we started in 2023, right? And so far, in terms of volume of revenue, we have done over 500,000, moved over 500,000 worth of goods for small businesses in Nigeria and Ghana today. We're in Nigeria and Ghana today. We facilitate importation from China to Nigeria to Ghana, as well as trade, import and export between Nigeria and Ghana. Next slide, please.
Import and export between Nigeria, Ghana, and China. That's your primary market.
Yes, that's where we are today. Yes.
What kind of goods are being imported and exported?
So small businesses tend to deal mostly in electronics, fashion, small machinery, small scale manufacturing, small scale construction.
Okay. And of these 6,000 users, how many are in Nigeria, how many in Ghana, and how many in China?
All of them are in Nigeria and Ghana. The China is mostly for supplying. So China is mostly supplying today. Although we're also already looking into exporting, selling to China, but not yet. It's not started yet.
No, but if you want to, if this is a marketplace, then you need the suppliers as well. If Ghana and Nigeria, so small businesses have to buy from China, you need Chinese exporters on the other end.
Yes. So we have Chinese exporters on the other end, but I didn't know they were. We don't refer to them as customers because they are vendors, suppliers. So they don't pay us. They are on the platform to sell. What we have done though is to refine that data such that only the highest quality of suppliers are on our platform. Over 10 billion SKUs are available today from multiple suppliers in China. And
the sellers are doing this for free. It's the buyers in Africa who are paying to access your platform.
Yes, precisely.
You
said?
How much are they paying?
So they're paying 5%, depending on what they're using. So they could be requesting for product discovery, which is just finding a supplier, and then you make a transaction and you pay a transaction cost. You also pay if you're using it just for payments or supplier verification to protect your cross-border transactions. You also pay a transaction fee of about 1.5% of how much you're sending. If you're requesting for quality inspections, our quality inspection partners pay us a commission. Then also for logistics, our logistics partners pay us a commission. But what we've done differently, rather than just bring all of these suppliers and partners and logistics and inspectors on one platform and have Nigerian businesses be the one to find their way to say which is what or who is who. They don't have access to it's not a marketplace per se. There are vendors on one side.
I see. It is not a marketplace. So you have chosen some logistics providers, some suppliers, and you are basically facilitating that trade, that import, but you are working with trusted suppliers and trusted logistic providers, and they are providing you commissions on the transactions.
Yes, precisely. So what we've done is
suppliers are also providing you commissions?
No, because what we have done with suppliers is that we're not relating with the suppliers directly. We have agents. So procurement experts, procurement officials, anyone who is familiar with that market can sign on to our vendor platform as an agent. So now what they don't know, what the small business does not know, the importation agent knows, and they're able to now help the person to find the best supplier, find the best quotes, negotiate, and go through all of that back and forth. And then all a customer would see is just a quote, a couple of quotes, 2 or 3 quotes, then they choose which one is best for them. So it's literally for them, they just have to, you want to buy something, you maybe upload a picture of it or send the link of it or a text description.
What is your revenue level right now?
Revenue level, measured in what sense? What units? Are you saying gross margin or total revenue?
Revenue, total. Not GMV, not gross volume. I'm talking about revenue. What is your revenue? Revenue is the commission that you earn from, whatever is your revenue. It is not the gross amount of transactions happening on your website. It is what are you making? What is the revenue that is coming in for you?
I understand. So far, we have done about $500 in transaction gross merchandise value, and about 10% of that is revenue.
So $50,000 is your revenue?
Yes, precisely. In 2005, our total revenue since inception is about $80,000 so far.
2005.
2025. 2025.
2025. You made about $80,000.
We made about $50,000 in 2025.
$50,000 in 2025. Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay, got it. So I'm going to skip this slide. There is a lot of trade, but what portion of that is actually falls within your scope is a function of what your business model and business strategy is. Let me understand the business strategy first before I focus on market sizing. So what is your strategy for growing this business?
All right. So our strategy for growing the business is to ensure that there is demand and supply. So supply in the sense that we're going to keep onboarding procurement agents. We have training sessions where we also sort of provide jobs for people to become qualified procurement enablers between cross-border trade. And then we have customers, small businesses who don't need to learn all of the nitty-gritties in order to do this. You just send a picture or anything that you need and you can get what you want. And then as well as expanding partners across various countries. So if we wanted to, when we wanted to expand to Ghana, we found partners in Ghana, and then we set up the infrastructure that we needed. And another important thing is that we try to stay asset light. So where the real work is the API integrations, where the software layer, the accountability layer, connecting the service providers to people that need the services, but in a secure, controlled space, such that
let me ask Farah just a second. Let me ask you some questions, maybe easier to explain. So you are saying that you can get to $5 million projected annual revenue. Is it revenue or gross merchandise volume?
Annual revenue, yes.
So you have 50,000 in 2025 and it can get to 5 million annual revenue at 33,000 paying customers, correct?
Yes, at that 3,000 recurring paying customers, we can get to. So the average spend for each customer today per transaction is about $35. So when a customer makes a transaction across the value chain from payments to product discovery and all the other things, all the other added services, what we get from each customer every time they spend is about $35. And a typical customer tends to spend about 5 to 6 times a year, because once they are recurring, it's B2B, right? So there is a high level of retention, so to speak.
So, but what I'm confused about is that it sounds like if it is B2B and if they are actually procuring merchandise or whatever, they're procuring stuff from China, how come the orders are so small?
The
orders tend to be larger, but this seems like this is incredibly small. So what are they ordering that is so small and so inexpensive? Is it nails or like really low price goods?
Okay, so the average spend per transaction like I said, we are focusing on micro businesses. So there are solutions that are available for larger businesses, but larger businesses are actually a very small percentage of businesses. So we're looking at volume, we're looking at numbers, we're looking at providing this to small businesses who spend about average of 3,000 to 5,000 per spend. And then 10% of that would be 5% of that would be about 330 rather, right, to $30 to $50, right? So that's why the average is $35 every time they spend. So how we're thinking about it is we have to
no, your math is not correct. If you're $3,000, if the average transaction is $3,000, 5% of that is $150. Right?
Yes,
$5%
Yes, you're right. I was going to say 3,000 per year. So that's why you also see $150 is the average revenue per user per year.
$3,000 worth of what? Like $3,000 is a very, very small amount of merchandise. What is the average? Like how many units are in this?
So a micro business in Nigeria, $3,000 is a lot of money. So there are small vendors, right? They're buying across maybe 100 units of low priced items, maybe even a small business owner. How do I explain this? Say there's a beauty vendor, for example, she sells beauty products. The cost of raw materials for her buying from China in a year could be about $3,000 to $5,000.
All right, I get the picture. So how are you acquiring your customers, the paying customers in Ghana and Nigeria? How you say your cost of acquiring an active user is 7 cents, 70 cents. Yes. So what is the method? Are you advertising or how are you reaching these people?
So mostly trainings, advertising, as well as word of mouth referral. Those are our highest acquisition method for now. We do live physical trainings, online trainings, and digital advertising. So typically when we acquire users, not all of them become customers. So the cost per customer is actually closer to $5, 4.9. But some of these users stay around and then still become customers over time, but it's not easily calculatable within a specific time range.
All right, so let's go to your questions. What are you are you looking for? What brings you here?
Well, I think the first one would be what are your thoughts on the scalability of this, as well as the possibility of getting institutional funding, and what are the obvious pitfalls that you can immediately see just from this conversation?
So let's stick to this business model slide, and I will answer your questions on the basis of that.
Okay.
First and foremost, the question about institutional funding. And this is something, Sakib Mohammed, you should also pay attention to. If you're thinking about funding, you have to explain to an investor how you're going to go from 0 to $100 million in 5 to 7 years. And if you don't have that kind of very fast growth trajectory, then you do not qualify for institutional funding. So to answer that question, one question I would ask you is this $5 million at 33,000 paying users that you are showing here, projected annual revenue, when? In what time frame? So you did $50,000 in annual revenue in 2025. How many years does it take you to get to 5 million?
Well, it depends on how much external funding we have actually. If we're going to keep bootstrapping and reinvesting profits, we're going to have a slower growth pace, and maybe 5 million would be maybe 5 or 6 years from now. But it's also achievable in 2 years with as little as $100,000 in funding.
So, $5 million in 3 years is going to be not very interesting to investors, to institutional investors. But if you're looking for $100,000 in funding to get to $5 million in 2 years, look for these economic development type of fundings. In Africa, there's a lot of economic development funding. Don't look for venture capital funding, look for economic development funding. And that kind of funding doesn't have the same requirements of hypergrowth. And to answer your scalability question, I guess the thing that I'm trying to understand is, where is the repeatability of this? So if there's a particular kind of vendors that are easier to close, like what category of vendors is easy to close for you? If you look at your 6,000 plus customers right now, paying customers, what is the distribution in those customers? Who are the best customers? Like, who are easiest to acquire, and who are the ones spending the most, and what are those categories? You gave me the example of beauty. Is beauty a particularly good category? What are the categories? And then I would go after specifically those types of businesses and run customer acquisition programs specifically focused on those categories that can close quickly, that don't churn a lot, and that have good repeatable orders on a regular basis. So part of the way you're going to scale faster is if you can create a high quality revenue model. The customers, if the customers are of a high quality, they close quickly, they don't churn, they give relatively larger orders, and they do a lot of business through your platform. That's the kind of customer you're looking for. And you need to analyze your 6,000 customers to understand which ones qualify and what are the characteristics of those customers. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand you very clearly.
So that's what is going to get you to faster growth. Does that answer your questions?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, folks, I don't think there's any other pitch. So I am going to explain to you how to use 1 million by 1 million. And And then you can ask more questions if you have any, and I'll be happy to answer. We have time. 1M is 100% virtual accelerator. You can use it from anywhere in the world, no problem. And every single bit of the program is fully virtual. The AI mentor is fully virtual, and it's available in 24 languages. The AI mentor, it's available 24/7 in 57 languages. So the AI mentor is basically at your fingertip 24/7, and you have a vast amount of my knowledge available at your fingertip. So just like you're dialoguing with me here, you can access this for free just once to come and pitch here, unless you're part of the premium program. But for the AI mentor, it's only $30 per month. You have unlimited usage at 24/7. The premium program is our full acceleration program. So you can actually talk to me on a weekly basis through the premium program and get insights, coaching, etc. Those of you who will work within the program and get to fundability can also access investors through the program. We work with hundreds of investors, and they will look at your business and decide whether to invest or not. That access is provided by the program. We have a very powerful curriculum that's entirely digital, case study based, that's also accessible to the premium program. And of course, the premium program includes the AI mentor. The basic program, so by the way, the premium program is $1,000 per year. And then the basic program is $99 a month for just curriculum and the AI mentor. So you can also work with the AI mentor on the curriculum, and that is another way of working with the program. So these are pretty much the options. We have free roundtables every week right now. April, May, we have free roundtables every week, and you can join from anywhere in the world. If you have questions about the program, the 1M1M program in general, you are welcome to contact Irina Patterson, irina@1mby1m.com. And that is it. Anyone with any further questions, I'm happy to answer at this point. Anybody? Yes, no? No other questions? Everybody is done? All right, if you're done, then I'm going to wrap up, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. I learned a lot. It was short but really useful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.